How to act when a colleague becomes your boss. Having a former co-worker transition into being your supervisor and having to change the way you act around this person can be a difficult adjustment. You might have shared lunch or gone to the gym with this person in the past. Now, suddenly, there are lines that must be drawn and topics of conversation that cannot be discussed. Make the transition as easy as possible by taking the time to redefine your relationship with this person. Part 1: Redefining your relationship. 1. Anticipate a change. Have no doubts about it, when a coworker joins the higher-ups in your workplace, nearly everything will change. Why? Sometimes, this change is a legal matter, as many work environments have strict no-fraternization policies between management and non-management. In other regards, it's just good office politics. Promoting, assigning bonuses, and overseeing layoffs can be difficult when those people are your friends. Bosses have to maintain some objective distance for this reason. 2. Manage initial awkwardness. You have worked under your old boss for a time, and probably grew accustomed to this person's quirks. Now, you must overcome the initial awkward phase of establishing communication and understanding the style of your new boss. Minimize stepping on toes or undue tension by being very open to changes, constructive criticism, and be observant in the coming days and weeks. Ask your new boss if he approves of the way you're doing things or if modifications need to be made to any processes. Don't worry about looking like a suck-up right now. Once you get a good idea of what pleases your new boss, you can work without much micromanagement. 3. Remember, this transition is also difficult for your new boss. Handling restructuring at work is always tough, even when you weren't previously chummy with the other person. Moving up from general staff to management means new practices to adjust to and new responsibilities for this person. Try to be understanding and empathetic. Empathy is the ability to understand another's thoughts, emotions, and experiences. It is a significant skill for effective workplace leadership. Showing empathy could be exemplified by refraining from teasing your new boss about her changing role. You could also pull her aside and share how great you feel she is coping with the new changes. For example, you could say, "Hey, Linda, you are really handling this new transition well. I look forward to having you as my boss." 4. Allow your new boss to determine the new relationship. He may continue to be friendly, but be cautious about how relaxed you are in front of him. Don't confront him if you see him taking a step back, and don't blame him if he cannot continue socializing with you and others outside of work. 5. Sit down and talk with this person. If your former colleague was also your good friend, your relationship is entering into uncharted territory. How you travel this new road will determine whether your friendship suffers, your job security becomes rocky, or both. If your workplace does not have a no-fraternization policy, you may be able to continue your friendship while limiting your discussions of work-related topics outside the office and minimizing the friendliness on the job. Approach your friend outside the office and congratulate her on the promotion. Say, "Hey, I'm really proud of you. I know the new dynamic is going to change how we interact with each other at work. But, we've been friends for years and I don't want our friendship to suffer. Let's talk about some guidelines for how we can interact with one another moving forward." Part 2: Maintaining professionalism. 1. Treat your former colleague like he is your boss. This doesn't mean that your demeanor has to change completely around him, but you should be respectful and follow his lead in topics of discussion. Maintain appropriate boundaries when in the office. Proper treatment of your new boss might look like this. Get started on an assigned task without him having to prompt you again and again. Don't whine when asked to do something. Refrain from gossiping about your boss with other employees. Aim to present solutions rather than complaining about problems. Make your boss look good by presenting yourself in a professional manner. 2. Refrain from complaining about work to your new boss. You may have been able to share your discontent with her when you were colleagues, but when colleague turns boss, you have to hold back on those discussions. Of course, if she has questions about the work environment and you have genuine feedback, share it. Just be sure to do so in a professional and constructive manner. To present feedback in a constructive manner, have a solution at the ready. An example might sound like, "I notice we have been getting reports in later and later each week. I was thinking it would be helpful if we created a paperwork hour at the end of every day. This way, Everyone can take time to work on reports each day rather than using all of Friday to catch up. 3. Don't get upset if your new boss questions or criticizes your work. He now has an expectation of you that you have to answer to. Learn how to accept constructive criticism. Thank him for his feedback and use the information in a positive manner. 4. Be a positive influence on other colleagues. Some of your coworkers may feel resentful towards your new boss. A negative energy within the workforce will only create bad morale, and your boss who used to be a colleague may be forced to cut social ties altogether. Explain to other colleagues that this new boss has a new role and, ultimately, new responsibilities. Be a team player and set a good example. Model showing your new boss respect, while still keeping a good professional distance while on the clock. 5. Don't ask for or expect special favors. Don't expect the person to give you an inside look into managerial info, or cut you slack when you're not fulfilling your job duties. Don't use your personal relationship with this person to gain special treatment, it could end up harming you down the road. 6. Deal with jealousy. You may be feeling a little jealous of your colleague, maybe you wanted that promotion, or maybe you wish your career were moving along as quickly as hers. Instead of acting out toward your new boss, which will only reflect badly on you, consider talking to her about your own aspirations. She may be able to help you advance, or tell you how she did it and strategize with you. Tips. Learn from your former colleague. If you are looking for a promotion of your own, then model the positive behavior of your colleague turned boss. She could show you the way to your own success. Warnings. Should your boss desire to maintain a close relationship with you, remember that you need to separate that relationship with your professional work connection. Don't flaunt your association with other employees or allow other colleagues to take advantage of your friendship.